So today I am doing a little bit of painting. I got these kind of last minute. So the Witches' Fair is tomorrow and I've kind of priced up all my handmade stuff, picked out all the vintage bits that I want to take with me. I know what size the table is, so I know what I can fit on there. And it's always nice to have a few extra bits should like things sell, and then I can pop a few more bits out. So these are necklace stands, and there's a bar that you kind of stand them in, and there are 3 of these at different heights. So I am just in the process of painting them black because they come like this, which is great because it means that you can paint them to match your display, and a lot of jewellery does look lovely against a black background. I did think about doing them gold, but then I thought that might clash with I work a lot with silver and copper, and I thought that might clash, so I have gone for the black. Plus I have like a whole litre of the stuff to use, so I figured it would be a good idea to use that up. Just trying to get a nice even coverage. My plan yesterday was to take some charity bags to the charity shop that have been sat in my car so that I can make space for all of this stuff once I get it packed up. However, my car wouldn't start, so I currently have a flat battery, which isn't a surprise because I only take the car out probably once a week, if that. And in the winter it obviously uses a lot more battery for things like heating the car up and putting your lights on when it's dark and all that jazz, and I never really take it on a very long run. So the battery is flat. However, Dave is gonna give me a jump start from his car when he gets back from fishing, and then I can take it out for half an hour and give it a good charge, that then when it comes to tomorrow morning I will be ready to head off for the Witches' Fair. It's not a long journey, it's literally like 5 minutes from my house, which is awesome. Got to think of somewhere to put this now whilst it dries so it doesn't fall over. Maybe stand it over here. So today is the day I'm all set up for the Witches' Fair. I'm going to take you inside and show you around. What are we doing today, Emma? What are we doing today? She's looking amazing. What are we doing, Debbie?
Just moving because I think I've got an idea.
Yep.
About ships and the guidance, but Emma's going to be like, messing with symmetry.
But you are head of sales, so I shall trust you.
If it doesn't work, you can move it all back.
Good morning. So it's been a while. I've literally been doing lots of resting. the Witches' Fair was last Saturday, 1st of November, and it was amazing. It was really, really good. So I kind of, the way this year's gone with spending, I wasn't expecting to see as many people, or that they would be spending as much money. However, I was pleasantly surprised. There was just as many people as the previous year, and there was lots of returning customers, which is awesome. And I could remember people's faces, which was really nice. There was a lady that had travelled. She came to the first one and then she came to the second one. So that was lovely to see her. It just, yeah, it was a beautiful day. Really, really good energy in the room. Lots of creative people, lots of people chatting, lots of kind of connections made. And it was brilliant. My friend Debbie helped me out, so that was good, which I'm really glad, because I kind of had so much more stock this time, and the table was the same size but had different display stuff, and it took me, I arrived about 8:30, had to unpack the car, which luckily they have a little side door that I could go through, so that made it easier. But then it took me right up until 10 to 10 to get everything out, and that was with Debbie helping for the last half hour as well. So I was ready, but with only like 10 minutes to spare before the doors opened. It was a good mix of stalls. There was a quiet room where they had like readings going on and Reiki and that kind of thing, which was a good idea. They had some stalls in the entrance, and then same stalls around in the room that I was in. I was in the same spot as last time, which is brilliant. And it was just a really good day. Chatting to so many people. It was lovely. People really interested in what I do and how I do it, the materials that I use, the upcycling, the vintage. Yeah, it was amazing. And if you follow me on Facebook, you will have seen that there was a necklace that I made to wear on the day, and it was a beautiful mix of vintage and modern materials, and it was all in whites and silver and green. And I thought, if I get that finished in time, I can wear it on the day, and then I'm wearing something that I've made. So I put a picture on Facebook, said that I'd finished it and I was going to wear it. And then at the Witches' Fair, a lady came over and she bought a few things, and she said, "Oh, I really like your necklace." So we stood and had a chat for a bit, and I was telling her about all the different elements and what had been rescued from where and what the beads were from and that kind of thing. And she said she really loves that kind of thing, and she was really drawn to the necklace. And then anyway, off she went, and then she came back and said she was still really drawn to the necklace, and she picked a couple of other things that she liked as well. She picked one of the kilt pin brooches that was very similar to the necklace. And then again, she said, "I'm really drawn to that necklace." So I was like, "Would you like to buy it?" I felt a little bit awkward because I was wearing it, but she was like, "Yes, please. Yes, please." So I took it off and popped it in a box for her, and she purchased that. And then for the next fair that I'm doing in December, she was like, "Make some earrings to match." So that was awesome. It was just, yeah, the energy in the room was fantastic on the day. Sold lots of things. I kind of had a different range of things this time with different prices. So my lowest price, I believe, was £4 for the little brooches, and then went right up to £60 for some of the kind of more in detail assemblage necklaces that I make. And then everything in between, and a big basket of vintage things as well that I'd put in little bags and labelled up, which people seem to love that. They love kind of having a little bit of a rummage, which I really like. So some of the things I observed were that last year everything was card payment, and I only kind of handled a small amount of cash, whereas this year it's the complete opposite. Everybody paid in cash, and I only had 3 card payments, which I found really interesting. People kind of had the money in the hand, and they were having a really good look round, at least like 2 or 3 times before deciding what they were going to purchase, where they were going to spend their money. And I think people were budgeting, which is a good idea. If you know, for example, that you've only got £50 that week, draw it out, put it in your purse, and then that's your budget, and you know that once that £50 gone, it's gone. Whereas when you're tapping with your card all the time, you can really lose track of how much you're spending. So I do respect people using cash, and I use cash a lot myself as well, because I'm very much, you know, use it or we'll lose it. So yeah, it was interesting, and I wasn't sure whether people were going to use cash, and I nearly didn't bring my float, so I'm really glad I did. So I need to make sure that next time my float's all topped up and that's all good. And I made slightly less than the year before, but only by about, I think, £30, £40, which is really, really good. Lots of returning customers and lots of new customers as well, so that was awesome. I did do a little bit of footage, but I thought I'd have more time to do more wandering and filming, but it was busy, which I'm not complaining. It was fantastic. Next time is the 7th of December, which is a Sunday, same time, so it'll be 10 till 3. And that is like a winter Christmassy one. So I need to get some bits to dress up my stall so it's a little bit more Christmassy. But I thought I would stick with my branding colours. The setup worked really well. The fire guard was fantastic. It looked amazing on the table. The only thing I need to do is cover the back of it because you could see through the wire and it made it quite difficult to see what was hanging on there. So my friend Debbie suggested that maybe I hang some fabric across the back. So that's one of my tasks that I need to do. I also didn't have anything to hang bracelets on, so I've purchased a bracelet stand in black and gold, so that'll fit with the colours as well. Yeah, I can't get over how awesome the day was. It was fantastic, and I'm looking forward to the next one as well. Hopefully it'll be as busy. So now I've recovered. It's taken me a whole week and a bit to kind of, you know, get rested and get my energy levels back to where they were. I'm still a bit fatigued, but that's kind of normal for me. So another thing that I've done, which you will probably, if you're a regular watcher, you will notice that something is missing from this corner. So usually in that corner is a big brown wardrobe, a vintage wardrobe, which I purchased when it was years ago. It's about 17 years ago now. I bought it from the Salvation Army for 20 quid. And it's wardrobe, it's a shelved wardrobe. So instead of having a rail, it's just shelves, and it was perfect for storing all my stock in. However, I decided that because I didn't have a dedicated space for making, I have a desk for doing like typing and my laptop and doing orders. I have a desk here that's all my photography stuff. But I don't have a dedicated space for creativeness and making things and getting all my materials out and stuff. What I've been doing is getting out what I need, putting it on a tray, and then working from a tray, which is all right, but it's not the best. So I bought myself a new desk with my profits from the Witches' Fair. I treated myself to a nice big new desk, and then I've been moving things around. So the wardrobe has gone from the corner and is now on the other wall, but that will be going eventually completely because I'm going to get a nice set of drawers for there instead. There are piles of things on the bed until I get, you know, some other things moved around. However, the desk is there. It's a nice big space as well. So I can't wait to be able to get stuff out and start tinkering. In fact, I'll show you one of the projects that I've got out to start on. So this is my huge desk. So that's my photography spot under the window. And then this is my new desk where I'm going to be doing all my crafts. At the minute, there's other bits on there that I'm going to move. I need to play around with what I can store where. However, this is a piece of foam. And then this was 2 thimble display stands. So these had little loops on the top and they would have hung on the wall. And then when people bought souvenir thimbles, they would have popped them in these little cubby holes to display them. However, I decided that I was going to turn it into a ring display. So you see on vintage stalls where they have like a box with a lid and then inside they have all the rings displayed. I thought I would make my own because these are a perfect size. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop little squares out of that and pop them in here. So that's just about the right depth. And then I've got these swatches from years ago that I got for free. They're from all kinds of different places. I'm going to do each one of these little squares a different colour, but using a different fabric. And then I can slot my vintage rings and handmade rings in here and then display them. So hopefully that should be ready in time for the December event. So kind of the website and the Etsy shop have taken a little bit of a backseat this week. I haven't done any listing simply because I haven't had the energy. So I've been making sure that I recover from all the energy that I used that weekend. But I'm getting there, and I have some things put to one side to photograph. So potentially next week, I have some more furniture coming. So I don't know about you, but I love flat pack. It's like a puzzle. I love getting everything out and kind of piecing it all together. So I've got another 2 like slim sets of drawers come in, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my stock into there. So at the moment they're in like shoe boxes labelled up, but what I'm going to do is have a drawer instead for each of the boxes and empty the contents in. So that's another task for next week. And also we have Dave's parents visiting next week as well, so they're coming up to see us from down south. They'll be with us Thursday to Monday, so that'll be good. So a busy week. Tomorrow I've got afternoon tea with my friend John. I'm looking forward to that. We try and meet up once a month, and afternoon tea is kind of our thing that we like to do. I have been doing a little bit of spending, so I've been keeping my eye on Vinted. Still looking for sterling silver, because that's, as I've said before, one of my favourite materials, and it's usually undervalued on places like Vinted and eBay, unless people do it for scrap, where they weigh it and then they work out how much they would get for scrap. But this stuff definitely does not want scrapping. There's some beautiful things in here. So I took a bit of a punt because nothing was labelled as silver. I couldn't see any markings on anything, so that was a bit risky as well. However, the guy took an offer, which was great. So I think this lot came to about £14, something like that. And then you've got your protection fee and your postage. So he sent everything in these cute little boxes, and it never fails to kind of amaze me what people will use for wrapping and packaging. He'd put them in these boxes, put them in bubble wrap, tissue paper, more bubble wrap, and then 2 pieces of carpet. Which, yeah, bizarre. But yeah, carpet, cardboard, and then 2 layers of mail bag as well. So proper, super secure. Probably a little bit OTT if I'm honest. However, and everything came, I took it all out and I tested everything, and everything is silver. There was only one item, which was a little pair of studs, which I threw in last minute thinking, well, if they are, that's good, and if not, it doesn't matter. And they weren't, which is absolutely fine. But the rest are silver, which is awesome. So these, I love the way these have been dented. So these are a pair of silver kind of domed earrings, and then on the surface, hold it up like that, they've been like hammered, so they've got a textured surface, almost like little golf balls. That's what they remind me of, and they're hollow inside. So they're sterling silver, so that's one pair. And then you'll know that I've been attracted to the Renee McIntosh style, the Kit Heath jewellery. So there we go, another pair of studs in that style, oval ones, which is nice. And then these are more kind of a Celtic design. These are studs as well, and these little love hearts. They're so tiny, it's quite difficult to show. I'll put images up here, but like a love heart with a Celtic knot in the centre. And then these, I think, are keepers. I think I'm going to keep these because I've always wanted something with peridot in. So these are nice stud earrings, and the shape is like a teardrop shape, and they're in silver. And then these are my favourites, and these are actually marked on the ear wires, which I couldn't tell on the photograph. Some of the photographs are a little bit blurry, but these are huge, and these are very much in the style of some of the other ones that I got. The balls, there's some balls that I got like this that have got the kind of scrolly cutout work. Trying to get them so I can hold them up and show you. There we go. So very, very similar to the other ones that I got, but these are much larger, and they're gorgeous. I love the shape of them as well. So I didn't do too bad out of that lot. I then purchased some, I wanted to get some more gemstone beads that I could use in my designs, because we're starting to run low on a few things, and I haven't spotted any kind of necklaces that I could take apart either, or I haven't had any broken ones that I could work with. So there was a lady on Vinted who was selling some strands, and they were a bargain, so I'll grab those to show you now. So it was pretty difficult to see on the photographs what the sizes were. They were all different, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strands of beads. So these I managed to pick up from a lady, and I think I paid 15 for the lot. Made an offer, I think it came to 18, made an offer of 15, and she accepted, which is awesome. Now one strand alone will probably cost that. So for example, These ones here are smoky quartz, and they were £12 just for those. Aren't they gorgeous? They're faceted as well. They're amazing. Haven't used any smoky quartz before, so I'll be looking forward to using that. That was one. And then these are riculated quartz. Now this is £3 on, so I don't know if she bought them from somebody else. But it's a huge full length strand and they're absolutely beautiful. They look amazing, I believe. So they're quartz and then they've got like little inclusions of, I want to say tourmaline. I don't know if that's right. Maybe. Correct me if I'm wrong. My brain's not working at full capacity this morning. Now these, I'm not sure if these are a gemstone or not, or whether they are and they've just had a coating put over the top of them. I'm really not sure. Or they could just be glass. But either way, they're really, really pretty. So these, at first glance, they look like they could be carnelian, but you probably can't tell in this light. They've actually got a luster finish to them, which you obviously wouldn't get on natural carnelian beads. So I will have to check those out and see whether or not. It's really hard because of the coating. I can't see whether they've got any inclusions and things in them. But they're still really nice and I will definitely make use of them. These were the ones that really caught my eye. So these are fluorite, which usually comes in kind of a mix of purple, green and clear. But look at those. How delicious are they? They look like little sweeties. So these are a lovely shape. I'm really looking forward to these. A couple of them have got little chips on the edges. But other than that, these are just, yeah, stunning. I can't wait to work with those. And then the last ones, I can't remember what these are called either. So if you know, let me know. So they're like a greeny blue. I want to say Amazonite. I have a palm stone in the same stuff, so I believe it is Amazonite. So there we go. So all of those strands for £15, which is amazing. So I'm looking forward to using those. I want to try and make a few different things for the next fair, so that if there are any more returning customers, because a lot of the people that came said they would come to the December one as well. I want to make sure I've got some other items, so I'm going to pull out some other things that I've already got listed on Etsy and the website and take those with me. There's a lot of interest in the assemblage stuff, the stuff that has been upcycled, which was brilliant. And bracelets as well seem to be quite popular, and I don't make a lot of bracelets, so I'm going to push myself, challenge myself to make some nice bracelets to go with things. And yeah, it should be really, really good. Having a slurp of my coffee to keep me going. So as always, thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed and this kind of stuff is your cup of tea, then please do, and then you'll get notifications when the videos come out. Try and post a video every Sunday evening, and then I do shorts every now and again as well when I pick things up or if I'm making something. So today I'm going to carry on doing a bit of tidying and sorting, and maybe pop into town later on, so I might do a little bit of thrifting as well. I have some other vintage hauls that I'm going to show in my next video. I bought a batch of single earrings, a huge bag of them, and they're amazing. So I'm going to show you how I use those in some of my jewellery designs. So yeah, thank you very much, and I shall see you on the next one.